Hi, welcome to Gears.
And cheers, mate.
My name is Josh and this is Graham, and we're going to give you a little bit of background on ourselves before we get into going over the details of purchasing a high mileage used car. So I am the financial consultant here at Top Notch Auto. I've been here 11 years. Prior to that, I did mortgages for 15 years. So when I transitioned from mortgages to coming to the automotive industry, it was very simple. I was just financing a car versus a house. You know, I did have a lot to learn about cars, which I definitely know a lot about now and enjoy cars. I love cars. You know, they're a passion of mine and it's fun to drive and get into them. So being in this industry has been a lot of fun, and I enjoy helping the customers get their new vehicle and helping them get the right financing when they're doing that. So now Graham is going to tell you a little bit about himself. Graham, how long have you been in this business for?
Hi guys, my name's Graham. I'm originally from London, England. Came here about 40 years ago. And when I got here, I started auto repair and was in the auto repair industry for about 35 years. Still in the auto industry now. We want you to have the best experience when you come in here at Top Notch Auto. That's why we're going to run over a little scenario right now about high mileage vehicles and whether to buy them or whether not to buy them and what your conception is.
So a little bit about Graham that he didn't tell you. He actually is a master tech mechanic, and he doesn't want to, toot his own horn, so I'll go ahead and do it for him. He's very, very knowledgeable about the cars and on how to fix them. We make them right for our customers and really take care of the customers. So he owned a big repair shop. He had 35 mechanics working for him. And that's why when you come into our shop, you're not just getting some guy trying to sell you something. This guy knows what he's doing. He knows the industry in and out, plus the cars.
Okay, Josh, let's get right into it. Should you or should you not buy a high mileage used car? What's the pros, what's the cons?
Well, a lot of people think that when you buy a high mileage car, it's going to break down and have a lot of problems.
Yeah, and I can see that. I can see people coming in all the time. Years ago, 100,000 miles with a ton of miles on a car. Car was pretty much done years ago. But now, 100,000 miles is nothing on a car. It all depends how it's been taken care of in its life.
So would you say having a high mileage vehicle that's been driven on the freeway versus one that's, a lower mileage vehicle, maybe a couple years older? So let's say you have a 2019 that has 100,000 miles and you have a 2015 that only has 20,000 miles, but it's been driven around in, let's say Los Angeles, downtown, back and forth just in the local area versus a guy that's driving from LA to San Diego every day. What car is a better car to make the purchase on?
Well, that's a great question, Josh. And people that drive around town in a car every day, they are on and off the brakes all the time. These cars have auto start stop now, so it's stopping and starting, oil pressure's going up, oil pressure coming down. You could have a car that's on the freeway for 100 miles and it doesn't stop once and you have barely used your brakes. So you can have a freeway car, I think, that would be way better than a downtown Los Angeles car.
Right, so what you're saying then is basically a car that's going around town is probably going to have more wear and tear than a car that's driving on the freeway.
Absolutely.
Because you're on and off the stuff, the motor's working more going on and off, and brakes and all that stuff, right? Plus, what about cosmetically? You're going to have a chance of getting dings because it's in the town, right? Versus
Absolutely,
a car on the
in
freeway.
parking lots, tight parking lots, absolutely.
So if I were to buy a car with 100,000 miles on it and I'm using it locally, right? So this guy prior to me, the previous owner, used it on the freeway, and now I'm just going to be using it locally around town for a daily driver just to get groceries or whatever. It probably make more sense because it'll hold the value, right? For in a couple years, if I go to sell it, it'll basically catch up to that other guy that is going on the highway commuting, right?
If you're talking about a mileage, people looking at the mileage, high mileage versus low mileage on the car, absolutely. Take, for example, my wife. She doesn't drive that much. She only drives a couple of times a week. It's to my advantage to get a car for her, say a 2020, that's got 80, 90, 100,000 miles on it, than to buy a car that's got 20,000 miles on it. Because in a year, 2 years, the value of that car is going to become almost the same as the car I would have paid way more for in the beginning.
Right, so the low mileage car, you would have paid double of what you pay for the high mileage car. So in that couple of years, you're going to get that. So you'll still get that value back then, right?
I'm going to get that back. I can get a car that's newer. I can get a car with more options for less money. And at the end of the day, when we come to sell it, it's going to be worth the same as the car I would have paid a lot more for in the beginning.
Right, okay. All right, Graham, I think that wraps it up. We got all the questions answered. So go ahead and subscribe to the button below. I think it's down there. It's somewhere down there. So, and give us a like, because we're here to answer all your questions. Come on down to Top Notch Auto. And this is Gears In
Cheers, mate.
with Josh and Graham. Have a great day.